Let's unmute myself and give this a second shot. Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Let's see. So, the goal today is to try and play some precision design, see if we can make this work. And then after that, do some work on a Netrunner cube. Be interested to see if I'm actually live or not, because it is difficult to tell. Or at least it looks like I'm live to me. So we'll see. Hopefully people will show up. But yeah, anyway, it feels like I'm going back to the very beginning. Okay. I mean, so this is the Identity Suite as old as time, right? This is not, I think, trying to be doing anything too clever here. What do we want here? It is... Where are we? Off-world office. And then we need... Let's just try architect deployment tests. That was definitely the initial poll. And I feel like I want to try a maybe slightly beefier ice suite. So... Let's see, we've got options. Like the classic is border control, right? So it's a little bit tough. A little bit tough. So like, oh, can we do like 1 Bran, 2 Ansels, 3 Fairchild 3s? So now we need like a bunch of econs, probably 2 Regoliths, 3 Rashidas. Gatekeeper seems quite good. Drafter seems good. I will be the last person ever on Anoetic Void. Tricolor Homegrid seems good. Probably want some Managarms. Seamless launches. Boy, those deck slots sure go fast. We spent all of our influence. Got 20 agenda points. Oh, but we don't need 20 agenda points. We could play 18. I forgot about that. This is Insolent Reds, ignoring all costs. Very cool. I feel like 2 magnets is probably worth it. Maybe over one of the gatekeepers even. Let's see. Be nice if there's a way to decrease to res our stuff for cheap. Also, if you're here, please say hello so I can make sure that my chat thing is working. If it's not working, it's gonna be fun for me to figure out. I guess I could go and look. My own channel. Okay, there's a couple people watching. So, yeah, I'm not streaming on... So, hey, everyone. Yeah, so I'm only streaming on YouTube today because Twitch just said that you can't stream on both platforms at the same time. Which I haven't done enough reading about. I think not every network streamer is going to do this. I figured I would start with this and then actually go and read the policy and see what the penalties and stuff is later. Andre messaged me about this earlier today. I think he's planning on just streaming on both and having them shut down his stream when they shut it down. But yeah, Twitch is just saying, oh, you can't stream on both platforms at once. And so YouTube's been the better platform for me in general, so I'm just switching over to YouTube for now. I reserve the right to switch back and stuff, but yeah, cool. Well, good to see the chat's working. I'll have to play with the, with the way this chat works, but that's fine. The old one was a little bit more top focused. Okay, anyway, thank you for assuaging my fears that things are not working at all. Okay, so what do we want here? We've only got 13, so 2 more ice is probably fine. Could you run like a wave? I wonder if you could do like a wave or 2. It's almost like it's like a purple pop-up, right? Like, could you do like a wave pulse combination? Yeah, I know. I feel like everyone has accounts on both, so Twitch is actually just saying like, hey, streamers, like, choose the platform that you like more, and YouTube monetizes itself way better than Twitch does. So, like, even if there's less of an audience, and like YouTube and Twitch have been pulling the same numbers for me. So, and Twitch like saves my VODs or YouTube saves my VODs forever permanently for people that want to watch those. So it's just like to me, it's not a particularly difficult choice. I could just put 2 Eli's in, which I feel like is fine. Okay, we'll just say like most boring PD of all time. Okay, so if we want to spice this up, I feel like a 1 of Chrysium Grid probably is pretty solid. So then you start looking at Cutting the Void. We put a Chrysium Grid in the deck. And we put in a 3rd border control over a 2nd Eli. Oh, interesting. I apparently had the slots for that. Hey, Tanuki. Yeah, so Twitch basically said you can't simultaneously stream on 2 platforms if one of them is Twitch, unless your other platform is to a mobile service. So I'll look into it and maybe just be back on both next week, but I didn't want to look into that today, so this is just what I was going to end up doing. Triple border control, like, border control, it's like one of those like super fair pieces of ice, and I always wish it was a little more unfair. And then my opponent plays, and I go, oh shoot, that's not. Oh, I only have 1 drafter. That's why I have too many pieces of ice. Okay. Yeah, 2 drafter, 2 Ansel seems right. We could like run a single restore. I can actually see that being kind of cute. This is maybe too much ice now. So what's the cut? Let's cut 1 Fairchild 3, just go a little bit more. A little bit more stodgy and boring. Yeah, I think I just saw something with them. like making an ad policy and then walking it back within a few hours of it being issued and stuff. So like they're having a fun time, and I'll let them go and do that on their own, and I'll keep going about my little merry way. This does mean I get to go back to the old school and put my actual stream in the title. Let's see. We'll just say live. YouTube. Corpside, we will save this replay. Yeah, it's funny though. I'm trying to use the OBS YouTube interface. I'm like, maybe I like the restream more, though. I think the restream one tends to have a longer bit of delay, so not sure about that one. But this is just on brand PD value. Yeah. Hey. I wish this hand had one piece of affordable ice in it. There we go. That's what you want to see. Actually, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to immediately undo our first click. I'm so used to being Asa. Okay, we're just going to go... let's get the... yeah, let's get the drafter on HQ, and then we're just going to click for another credit. Yeah, I actually think I do res the drafter here. We'll add hedge fund. And I think we can put down the gatekeeper in our new remote. Alright, so we've seen, I think we saw Goodnight playing this low stack last week, or there are two people playing a low stack, which seems absolutely wild to me, but definitely possible. I don't even know what an RTMP is. I know it was the abbreviation before YouTube, but I mean, like, I'm not it's funny, it's like I am not super technical despite having built my own website now, I guess. But like that was just using, I actually just got the first bill for it, and I was like, oh, maybe I should set up, it's not like a big bill, but maybe I should set up a little Patreon thing for it, so that if people want to help me keep it running, I can offset those costs a little bit. It's not big, like it's not something I can't afford, but yeah, I think technically I actually made it to the affiliate, because you didn't make any money until you hit affiliate, but it's like I'm an affiliate, but I technically don't actually make any money off of Twitch, so it's like that makes sense. Okay, thanks, Ixaron. So it's like affiliate is like you get 1,000 watched. No, YouTube was 1,000 subscribers and like 10,000 watch hours. And I hit 10,000 watch hours very, very fast. But it took me a long time to get to 1,000 subscribers. And if my opponent ever starts turning this money into accesses, I'm in real trouble here. But okay, we're going full on Rubicon switch. Lol. Okay. Actually, well, okay, this is whatever. I'm gonna add a card from to HQ. So it'll be a hedge fund. We're gonna go credit, hedge fund, install on server 1. Hey Andre, I chickened out and decided to just stream on YouTube because honestly they do me better anyway. So also I think probably this weekend I'm going to be recording my very, very early prepping for rotation guide because I'm struggling. Like, I've had a video I want to make about standard, but it keeps being in my I want to make, and then some snarebeds were bugging me about a rotation video, so I'm hoping I can get that filmed soon. It's a lot. Yeah, no, Andre, I'm such a law-abiding citizen that I'm playing a boring deck as well. So, for those of people that only want to watch me on Twitch, they're not even missing anything exciting. Yeah, I know GLC has something for posting videos, which I guess is how YouTube Live works. I think I just do something like this. I score it. And we're just going to top deck the last Seamless here, so I can just throw this guy down. Hey Augustus. So this is actually one of the 2 videos I need to make about standard before any like thing changes in the card pool. Which is the runner overpowered dynamic. Yeah, I have to rub it in their face, Andre. Have to rub it in their face. Okay. I'm glad you've been having fun at the AMTs. It was not my idea, but I'm glad someone kicked me in the butt to doing it. It was one of the ideas that I had when I joined the organized play team, and then promptly did not deliver on it at all. But you know, better late than never, I guess. And yeah, so how to practice as runner on JNet. I mean, I wish I knew a really good answer. I think it's playing runner right now is difficult. Like, I was chatting, I think it was with is this still my notes? Yeah, this is still my notes. Okay, it was with Derek, right? And like, their deck does seem like it's having a lot more fun than ours. And this is one of the things. So it's like, okay. My first advice right now is that Corps are coming at you with like 3 to 4 different game plans. And so you should pick a really good runner deck if you're trying to practice. If you want to play a janky runner deck, I think just accept that it's going to be janky and you're going to be battling uphill in the snow both ways. And then if you do want to pick a good runner deck, you have a bunch of options. You've got Ghost Tongue Essa, you've got 419, be it Nexus or not. Because Andre's here and because I've seen other people playing it. Admittedly, Ian was calling it his funky 419. Or no, it wasn't Ian, but it was someone else at my network meetup. It was Holly playing her funky 419. And it was just Nexus 419, right? And then you have your variants of Hoshiko. You got your Turtle Hoshiko, you got your Turbine Hoshiko, and you got your like Regist of Reg Hoshiko. All of which have different slight upsides, but just pick the one you like, and that's the one you're going to practice some games with. And tell yourself, I'm not allowed to make any changes to this deck list until I've played 5 games with it. Just like set that rule for yourself. Or, you know, you can make one change when you start and say, okay, I can't make any changes for another 5 games. I can't make another changes for another 5 games. And then what you should do is you should sit down and play the matchup. And what you need to do at the start of every turn, this advice is going to apply to every deck except Grey Tongue. What you should do at the start of every turn is go, how could I lose this game? Okay, let's not do that. And so when we look at the archetypes, right, we've got Laura as Mari, we've got, and actually, I'm going to be honest, I'm like not very good at explaining how to beat Ag Infusion. I can like sometimes pill my way forward through it. But I'm gonna just pretend I can walk my way through it. And then we have Jinteki. We've kind of got these are probably the 3 cornerstones of the deck, of the meta. Maybe not this exact one. There's also Pias, right? Where we are. Okay, we'll just do this. Okay. So like these are the 4 decks I would say that you're expecting to have to beat at any kind of event, or not just like that you want to make sure you understand what their game plan is and how to beat them, right? So when you're playing against Laura as Mari, it's the knowing when can I push, when is the HHN gonna hurt me, when is the Crypto Crash gonna hurt me, and can I account for that? So it's like, oh, if I'm the runner and I'm not planning to run this turn, and I'm in the like 5 to 10 credit range, you just play, you like put down investment cards. So you can put down breakers early, you can put down daily casts ideally. And then on turns you're going to make a run, make your runs count. So play your dirty laundries, play your bravados, use hippos to go and blow stuff up. And try and end your turn on 12 or 16 or 20 credits if you can. And, you know, use cheap tricks. Like their ice is really bad, so you don't need to play your efficiency tools. You just need to play your don't let them get completely ahead and don't let them get you in the Econ Warfare trap. Killing the Sacred Deer. This is a lot about being aggressive in the early game. And oh, this is not actually the meta Ag Infusion deck because this has 3 banned cards in it. My bad. Lol. So, oh my goodness, what is with people on the worst images in these deck lists? I need to figure out how to turn these off. Holy sh... Okay, I'm gonna just, for the sake of everyone here, we're just gonna do that and not think about the implications of it. Okay. Like, this is a list that just plays very, very slowly, and it mostly... Actually, this ice has relatively... It's somewhat cheap. So this is where you maybe want to be trying to look at playing Begalters and Echelons. And this is a deck that is going to go long, so you do want to play your tools efficiently. You want to make intelligent runs. And you want to try and apply pressure to centrals when you can. For this PE, it's mostly about judging when you should be going after the Keeling versus other strategies. Was that Brandon's deck? I was about to make a joke about whether or not Brandon can even see that image, but I think that's actually in terrible taste, so I'm going to half make the joke instead. Which is probably the worst of all worlds. Against PE, you have to know when you can steal oboe, where to take singles on cards that aren't advanced, and like just how to manage your money. And I think something is kind of similar with PS, and like there's a lot to be said about how you actually beat these decks, and I have not played against them enough to give you a lecture on how to beat them. My heuristic would be, I generally value singles against PE when you have cards in hand relatively highly. But there are times when you have to switch over to checking remotes, especially unadvanced remotes. And neither of these decks are actually doing advanced remote stuff. They're really, like, this one's all in on Keeling Warroid Tracker. So if you see them stacking a Doom remote, like, if you suspect it's this kind of Warroid Tracker deck, installing few cards is generally the way to go. Yeah, J. Mary, I think that's a very good point. I think if you want to play Begalter, and I actually think Echelon is a pretty reasonable meta call, because while it's not great at Anansi, it's very good against Saisentan, Anemone. It's not so great against Malinzi and Anansi, though if you want to go full Turbine Rig, that's an option. Criminal with Amakua also is really tough for Ag Infusion. It's tough for PE. It's not so great against Ismari because they're running 3 IP blocks, so this is kind of the trade-off, right? This is the interesting thing about this meta, is there's a lot of rock, paper, scissors in it. And then you can be me, who keeps playing PD for some reason, and Op, because I don't like to win. So we'll just keep playing that. And I don't think, honestly, that there's a good reason, if you're expecting a meta full of Hoshiko, to be playing a lot of PD. Now that said, that was my, like, how should you play this matchup if you're everything but Grey Tongue Essa? If you're Grey Tongue Essa, you smash your face into them, you throw Tishtushkas at them, you play your Light the Fire against the Keeling Warroid server, and hope that that somehow makes you win despite having a 3-card max hand size. And you try and mill them out first, and it, like, works just enough to be really exciting. I think the biggest thing I found in the Essa matchup is placing your Bosuluses correctly makes a huge difference in the game, because you have, it's like where all of your gas ends up, all of your tempo ends up being made. And like you can do some fishing Tishtushkas early in the game, and it's probably going to be okay. So yeah, that's my how you should be playing Runner in this meta in like 5 meandering minutes. How should you practice that on JNet? Well, you should take each game on JNet seriously and think about your lines carefully, and then you should also save a replay of all of your games and then go over that replay after the game. I would say going over your own replays, or if you feel like it, sending those replays to me. I would be happy to go over some replays with if people send them to me, either on stream or just privately. I think I probably still owe Cold Lava some reviews, though, to be honest. He's like basically as good as I am, so it's not a big difference. I don't think you want to trash this, but maybe you do. It seems like a weird trash to me here. But I don't know your hands, so. Boy, this is a tough start. Oh, cool. I'm glad you did your replay watching after AMT. Oh, there is the save replay command that works? I know that there's a, if you use the bug command, that saves a replay. So I wasn't sure if save replay actually got implemented or not. But that's super cool if it did. Hello, princess. Are you mad that Aaron's gone? Sorry, just talking to my dog. Okay, well, opponent gets there. Yeah, J-Mary, that's actually a really good thing. Oh, you know what? Here's the other thing that you should do. Go back and watch Andre's 7 tips on how to get better at playing Netrunner. Because that is a great video full of fantastic advice on how to get better at playing Netrunner. And a lot of that ends up being runner advice. Because, like, frankly, runner is and always has been the harder side to play. I don't think there has been a single meta where runner has been significantly more complicated. Has not been significantly more complicated. Yeah, someone will have to test out the save replay. That's super cool if it works. Yeah, so, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to res drafter. We will add the Tranquility home grid to HQ. We'll install the Spin Doctor in a new remote. And we'll res the Spin Doctor, and then we'll continue the movement. Yeah, it's interesting, J-Mary. Like, it's very uncommon in the Netrunner community for people to take any notes at all. It's actually super uncommon. It is pretty surprising. So, Augustus, there's a couple of things that you can do. So, oh my goodness, my opponent's just gonna rip them all off of R&D here. Oh my frick. Okay. Well, we're just completely screwed now. Lol. Okay. Let's see. I think this Ansel... Oh, never mind. I've got all my things. So, you know, there's things to keep in mind. Basically, on average, 1 in every 5 cards is an agenda. Okay. Do I rest this drafter here? Yeah, I'll rest the drafter here. Okay, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 agendas are gone. We've got about half the deck left, a little bit over. So, like, odds are not bad we just lose here. Oh my goodness. 8 cards accessed. GG's. What can you do? What can you do? Lol, holy shit. So it goes. So it goes. Lol. Oh well, so you... YouTube. Okay, I got completely derailed there. Yeah, I got real outskilled there. Play on average, basically play a point per access on average. So that's how you get good at runner, right? You just actually you just access agendas, right? This is why I don't play against Pencil anymore. He just always accessed my agendas. Like, it wasn't It's funny, like, yeah, winning on 8 axes is uncommon, but winning with half of the deck gone, like, wasn't that uncommon there either. I just had no tools really to stop it. So it goes, right? And like that's something that is a good thing that runners do. Like, and that is why that is a lot of why Hoshiko is really strong. Is because going for that R&D run on its own, like on average, that play probably isn't winning for a blank runner ID. On average, right? But especially if I'm getting drafter fires, like it's probably not worth it if I'm firing drafters. But if you're Hoshiko, that turns into card draw as well. And so you're kind of clicking to draw a card while also accessing a card at the same time, which is very good. And definitely worth doing. Can you guys see my mouse? Oh, okay. I need to turn that on. I sometimes turn this off when doing recordings. Oh, okay. There we go. I need to click once. Oh, can I not see? Oh, I can't see what... Cursed accessibility, you strike again. You got rid of the Corp factions. Why am I playing PD? Because I felt like playing PD. That's all. I think it's probably terribly positioned in the meta, but it's nice and easy to play. And I want to be thinking about building up a draft pool at some point. Because I've had that done for a while, and some of my other big projects are getting into really good spots. For those of you that care about organized play policies, let me go and find it. If you're in the Accelerated Meta Test Discord, and you have selected the external TO role, you will get access to a set of channels that include some stuff for TOs to communicate with organized play. It's not the only way, or necessarily even the best way. The email is probably the best way. This is going to be a tough one. We're like 100% for mulligans so far. And this was a worse hand. Awesome. But let me actually go and pull this up. Okay, so we're doing some kind of tag me freedom, which I guess is a thing that people have done in the past. We're actually, I think let's swap these and just hope that they don't throw down a botch list on this remote. Okay. Oh, and they trashed the Rashida. They're gonna moshing some stuff away. Oh, sick, Andre. Hey, cat. So there was Rashida Magna for the remote. I felt like that wasn't good. I had no other econ in the hand, and I felt like that was maybe suspect, but maybe it wasn't. Yeah, I guess that does stuff all turn one pushes, except them like having exactly the nuts, right? Yeah, Andre, I have it set up to have 2 YouTube accounts. I don't know if that's what how you're actually doing it. Hey, Padre. Twitch has asked that people not restream, and so I just said, well, fuck it, I'd rather do YouTube because that like works better for me anyway. And like Andre's gonna stream on both tomorrow, and it's probably going to become it, like, I don't think they care about streamers of my size. So like, I'm sure it would be fine, but yeah. So are you using your personal account still, or did you switch over? Okay, your personal account was your name. Yeah. Oh, I see what you did. So this is not the Metropol Grid account. This is kind of a username. Cool. Okay, so this way I still get the draw. I kind of pay for the draw instead of getting it for free, but that's fine. Question is, do I keep this gatekeeper installed, or do I just overwrite it? So, Solomon, they do give up revenue on Twitch, but YouTube, I think, generally pays better. Not like always, but like it pays better. It's just not as well established or liked. Oh, did they pause all of the changes? I thought they paused some of the ad changes. I didn't realize they changed if they put a pause on everything. Does Andre count as a sizable Twitch streamer? My guess is no. Like, frankly, the network community is a super small Twitch community. I don't know. I definitely received some email about a contract change, but let's see. I don't like just purging this conduit for fun, but I kind of just don't want it to be a sword of Damocles over my neck the whole game, so. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, they're basically going to make it very difficult for people to, like, add ads to their own channel, which is, like, a much better way to monetize than actually monetizing through Twitch ads, which are kind of, my understanding is not super, super profitable. But I, like, and yeah, it's, you know, people, you know, like Riot Games simul streams all of their events. I mean, I got to assume every major esport, but presumably those are the places that can also sign, like, actual deals with a place like Twitch and just say, I'm sorry, we'll just go somewhere else and not care as much. Wow, okay, so last game there was 10 points of agendas in the already out by now. This game, it looks like we're not going to hit that. I think I wanted this to be my sacrificial hippo protection. Yeah, if there's people that particularly like the Twitch experience over the YouTube experience, I'm definitely open to going back and simul streaming and just saying, fuck it. Like, they genuinely don't care about me, so why should I care? Oh my goodness. But paying all costs. Boo. But at the same time, like, Twitch has been, yeah, Twitch is just not a great, Twitch chat shit still works. Oh, interesting. I'm not quite, let's see what's in the bin here. We've got everything. Oh, I see what you're saying. Do I res both of these? Probably not. I think I can just res this. Yeah, if people prefer the Twitch chat experience, which I could totally see, like that's something I'm open to, but okay, that's good to know. That Twitch is like better from a mobile perspective. Sorry, I just need to say thinking here. Because they can, if I res the border control, they just hippo it for 2. Or I can just pop this. Yeah, people don't use emotes in my stream, so I don't feel like that's too much of a loss. Yeah, it's quite the deck. I think Twitch streams are just open all the time. Tag me to also conduit. I don't think it's actually tag me. I think I'm going to just restore a Manic Arm onto R&D. And like put a magnet on R&D as well. And then we're just going to click the Regolith again. No, we're going to put the Rashida in server 2 here. Yeah, I mean, this is the, like, I think, yeah, they probably are just using this Obelisk as a dream net that eats up your console slot. And yeah, with upside when you conduit dig. Do I care about them imping anything in my hand here? I think the answer is no. Yeah, Extern, I also am on the YouTube premiums train, so it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna just use YouTube for everything because I don't get ads, I don't get whatever. But oh no, okay, so it is on Tag Me. Okay, just even more twists and roundabouts. Okay, so do I want the credits or do I want the free ice? What is this? I probably want the credits. So I think this looks like server 2. Install this on HQ. Click for a credit. Yeah, there's definitely a world where actually you just put the Chrysium grid down and like just completely shut off their stuff. But they're just gonna empty out the rogue trading. So I can go seamless, install the 8 architect deployment test. Which I think I like. Okay. So we've got some options here. Now they have a pretty scary run on R&D at some point. Yeah, Conduit with Tag Me seems like you're double dipping a bit. Okay, which of these can I afford to res? This would be 10. They have all the money in the world. So I actually do want to just tax them. Yeah, so that is a downside for sure, and that's definitely a good reason. Yeah, Chrysium on R&D does stuff countervalence. And then it actually also stuffs Conduit. Oh yeah, see, Potter, like that I can do that on YouTube, because I'm paying the money for it, which maybe is me being a sucker, but does make this experience much more usable for me. Oh, I guess if I res this Manic Arm, this one gets trashed. That's unfortunate. Do I just res the border control here? Oh, no, it's totally reasonable to say you're not going to pay for YouTube. Though I will say, people that pay for YouTube can account for, like, most of, or at least half of my revenue that I've yet to make any actual money from, so it's not, like, anything to actually write home about, but, I probably can't let them access 4 cards here. I have to shuffle ice back in here because I am legitimately running out. Okay, let's put back, it's ignoring all costs. So we'll put back a Fairchild 3 and we'll put back a border control. Then we will score. Let's use Architect Deployment Test. So it's Eli, Border Control, Gatekeeper, Hedge Fund. So that would be the 4 cards they see. Then Luminal on the bottom. Oh, so they're gonna get through and steal one of these. That's a bummer. Okay, so there's no way to actually be safe here. Actually, that's not what I want, sorry. Alright, well, PD in the year of our Lord 2023, not doing so hot against a pile of Anarch that's, I think, probably bad, but good enough to beat me. BC does just get hippoed as well, yeah. But counter surveillance to sweep HQ will do it as well. Or it won't. Let's frickin' go. What a funny turn of events there. I should have lost that game. Most of the time I lose that game. That's hilarious. I think I kind of just take the time off and purge. Yeah, Gatekeeper probably is the better ice to install. I think you're right, Solomir. I think I felt like I was so lost that it kind of didn't make a difference. But my opponent got unlucky on accesses. I also feel like it's like, oh yeah, this is one of those decks where I couldn't find agendas for the first half of the game when I had a nice big open window. This deck literally has everything. What? It's got a prepaid voice pad, a T400 memory diamond. Like, this player does not want to lose to core damage, I guess. They want to make sure they can dig R&D. Am I actually going to give him 4 cards here? No. Okay, we're going to click for 3. So Luminal is the... No, we have a hedge fund and then the Luminal, I think. I need to get the Tranquility Grid in the remote at some point. Prepaid voice pad over Mamie seems wild. Agree. Well, okay, so here's the justification that I think they had. Is that they're playing Tag Me, and so Mamie would get trashed. Now, do I think Mystic Mamie ever gets trashed? No, probably not. It's so slow for the Corp to go and trash a 1 credit drip per turn resource. Like, most people don't trash daily casts, and that card actually pays off fast. Or makes money quite fast. Like, often you will have a 6 credit daily cast and the Corp won't trash it. And it's often correct for them not to trash it. And so Mamie is going to take a long time to make you those credits. Like, it'll take 6 turns for Mamie to pay off as much as a daily cast does in 4. I guess it's only 2 turns worse, right? For 2 credits less on the install seems okay. Opponent's doing what I assume is a think, or I've disconnected. Maybe I have disconnected because my music has stopped too. Oh, nope, just a funky timing. Let's go. Maybe he does get trashed more from her own ability. One interesting thing actually about this is, and honestly, I might still use Restream to host to host the stream is it gives me viewer counts, and I actually don't see viewer counts off of the OBS dashboard. I can probably just go and look at it on the website, but when I'm watching my own stream in the other window, I'm always curious. Hello? Are you there? Alright, it looks like our opponent may have wandered away from the computer. Which is, you know, a way to get a win, I guess. Or to concede honorably and move along, I think. I guess we can reload the page first. Just in case it's something weird. You could add an OBS browser dock, yeah. That is definitely something I could do. That would require me figuring that out, and I don't know. It's probably worth it for my own curiosity, but not for any other reason. I've got the real estate probably to make it work, but okay. We're just gonna leave the game, and we're gonna make a new one. Alright, we'll play probably 1 or 2 more games of this. Look, we take the dubs so that we don't have to say we lost to that pile. We lost to that pile. It happens. We're 1 and 2. That's the reality of it. My opponent may have found a way to like steer themselves into a loss there. It was definitely possible, but I'm going to assume they would steer themselves into a win there. Hey, if Credits wants to join, Credits can join and wipe the floor with me. I don't mind. But I don't want to hop into other people's lobbies and bring the whole stream along. That is quite the setup. I have 2 super cheap old school monitors that I'm actually still pretty happy with. So. I actually, like, I work from home sometimes just because I have the 2 monitor setup is so much nicer. Wonder what Snare Bear will jump to this game. Well, now that you've said it, it's going to be summoned into reality. Let's see. Is my audio, like, right at the music level? It looks like it might be, but none of you have complained about it. But it looks like it's going to be a touch close. Just take it down. That's like, yeah, it's probably, honestly, that might even be enough, but and here come the Snare Bears saying they're working and all that. Oh well. So what do I want to? It's fine. We can talk about other stuff. I'm not going to make Patrick sit down and play. So something else is I want to work on is the StimHack cube. Or not the StimHack cube, but my version of the cube. Which is going to look a little bit different. So the idea behind this cube is it's a lot of cards. You know, it's 460 some odd cards. You don't get a lot. You draft some runner IDs. You draft some... I don't think these are your corp IDs. And then you go and draft cards, and they're fully randomized pods. And the thing I'm trying to do is make an experience a little bit closer to like a sealed booster draft rather than a cube draft. Oh, I can, you know what, let's just do this so that I can pop this out. Okay. So, you know, I have played this cube quite a bit, and it's a very fun cube. It uses a ton of singletons, a couple of 2Xs, and very, very sparing 3Xs. And, you know, I think that's a really nice philosophy for a cube. I don't... the thing I'm trying to create might end up doing that. It might end up being a little bit different. But there are other things I should shout out, and this is... oh, okay, we got someone showing up, so we can come back to that later. Alright. GammaNet. I don't think this is a keep. Oh, holy crap. The one hand. No, it's fine. We'll make this work. We'll find a way to make this work. We will not find a way to make this work. Okay. Do I just install this Rashida naked? Slam Rashida? Fuck, I should have slammed the Rashida. Just simple turn. Simple, good turn. You think the correct play... Yeah, maybe the correct play is just Rashida border control, or Rashida gatekeeper in the remote. Click for a credit. Yeah, that's probably what I did need to do. Okay, well, we live and we learn. From world champs. Oh, and brownies have arrived, so my Alright. So nothing's in the bin yet. Now I've made a bit of a mistake here, and we'll see if my opponent figures out this mistake. My opponent did figure out this mistake. Yeah, I'm just like throwing this game completely. I think genuinely my play here is overwrite the agenda with a regolith. Yeah, I've just completely screwed myself here. Seamless click for... Oh my goodness, I forgot that I drew a seamless. Oh my god. Oh my goodness, I... Alright, folks, that's the stream. I just didn't think about the seamless math. Oh my god. Holy shit me. Well, now that's the stupidest moment of my Netrunner career sorted out. I thought I had found it earlier this week, but nope, this is the one. This is definitely the one. Ugh. For those of you that want to see what is now my second most stupid play in Netrunner history, you can go back to GLC and search for a post I think I made yesterday of me getting showing up on the San Francisco channel. Yeah, no, I have a turn of basically ice archives, ice R&D, and then like we're okay. And as long as the top of R&D isn't like 4 points, we're probably fine. My opponent let me get that regolith off, which I don't think they should have, but... And they also only have... Okay, they have a Black Orchestra as well, so the magnet's going to be a little bit soft. But I could even look at just going something like Drafter Ansel, overwriting the magnet, and then go for a purge. Yeah, no point in really contesting this one. Yeah, no, this was a, I forget how it came up. Something Ed and I were chatting about and I pulled up my dumbest play of all time. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, well, I said I was fine if I didn't bleed 4 points off of R&D here, which unfortunately, of course, then happened. But so it goes. PD in the year of our Lord 2023, he says, having thrown away 2 points and 7 credits for no reason. But yeah, this is the somewhat infamous Are You Sure stream from San Francisco. The very last game of the evening is a very fresh-faced Jeff coming back to the meta after not having played for a year and getting absolutely rused. Where do I think they're going to be putting... Where's my Christian Grid valuable? I'm assuming they're going to play more finalities, but like might be playing Chishtushkas. Do I restore a Rashida into the remote? Yeah, let's do it. Maybe I'll see if I can pull up that clip at some point, because I found that I watched that clip back and it is so fucking funny, and then I would go and watch the rest of it. I am playing freaking what was I playing? I was playing Oracle May Paragon Akiko Nisei, because some things never fucking change, which is just beautiful. And then I set up a Turning Wheel Maker's Eye deep dive, which was a lot of, and then I did get the psych mic off, so I technically won before I got the credits, but don't let a little thing like facts get in the way. R&D, why? Why would you do this to me? Oh, I should have... Well, whatever. Okay. This is the card I want on R&D. And we'll install this on server 2, and we're going to just gain 2 off of it. And then we're going to discard this Tranquility Home Grid. Oh, they must have discarded the MK and I just missed it. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. This is... Oh, I'll have to reload Firefox for a second. Yeah, my deck has decided. Okay, but I don't think you understand how important Oracle May was for that deck. Because you would Paragon, you would never put the card at the bottom, and then you would click Oracle May and gain 2 credits and draw the card. So it was a very powerful synergy that was definitely worth building into. So this becomes 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not particularly taxing. Versus something like double icing HQ here. I wonder why you did put him a virus in this deck. Like, cut a border control, put in like an IP block of a virus, like just put all the tech stuff in. Has Nat triggered once this game? Okay, it's triggered 3 times this game. Yeah, and they're gonna get this architect deployment test that we drew, of course. Yes, let's go. Okay. Let's gain 2 here because I don't want to draw the agenda. There's definitely a part of me that... Oh yeah, runner's just in here. What am I thinking? That's actually a... I think honestly it might have been better for me to purge that turn than score. Yeah, it would have been. And we're gonna lose anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh my goodness. Well, my snare bear revocation's coming in any second now. Yes! Let's go. I probably should have just put the Christium on R&D because that is how I lose this game. But like, who plays 2 finalities? Who plays 2 finalities? Do you think I fire the ATT? You think I don't purge here? Actually, I guess... Okay, so we know the top of R&D is safe. And it's probably full of installables. I've got some bad news for you, Patrick. There's no tears. Probably still the seamless launch, right? We could grab the Rashida. Tranquility Home Grid, Seamless Launch, Manic Armstrong Works, Offworld Office, and Border Control. So next turn, Tranquility. We could put the off-world office in this remote. Problem is, runner gets into this remote for peanuts. Like, it costs them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, that's true, Patrick. Yeah, I even did that earlier intentionally, and, like, my brain is clearly just, like, losing some focus. Oh. Okay, so my opponent's gonna have 9 credits. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus another. Yeah, they need 9 total credits. So they can get in credit perfect. But they're just not going to. Oh, and of course they're going to call me on it. Oh, I forgot they dripped an extra credit from Nat, too. Border control on R&D, purge. I feel like I would do border control on the remote, Christium on R&D. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I think their credit's short if they do it, if they're breaking all the subroutines. It is seamless on top of R&D. That's why I'm going for this line. It is seamless on top. Oh no, are they still credit perfect? No, they're not. They're short. Oh, you're right. This is always an agenda. Yep. Because they actually can't let any of these Ansel subroutines fire. Because I will actually overwrite the agenda this time. And have it be correct. Let's go. Managarm OP. The rare PD Corp town. And it is a seamless on top. So I'm a frickin' psychic. We probably want to put the seamless back in our hand. And then we can say goodbye to this Tranquility Home Grid. I think next turn... yeah, you're welcome, Patrick. Okay, so next turn is, I think... Rashida in server 2. Chrysium Grid on R&D. Border control on server 2. Maybe we'll do a hedge fund and delay the border control a little bit. Or is it just purge? It's probably just purge. Yeah, I think purge is right. Because I want to slow down when they can contest the Managarm. Oh, you have a whole nother champ card coming, don't you, Patrick? Because this is a European champion, and you also have a world championship now too. So, Ansel 2.0. All right. Ice is well positioned, I think. All the breakers have been in the bin for a while. It's gonna be 23 to res. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Okay, I need to turn on some other lights so I'm not just blasting myself with a ring light. Okay, so it's gonna do this. Gain 2. Hedge fund. I guess we're gonna put this ice on R&D first. I do kind of wish I had Anoetic Void, because people have stopped playing pinhole threading, for the most part. But yeah, this game is maybe the most mistakes I think I've made in the game that I have a plausible shot of winning. There's only 2 agendas left in all of R&D. So I think we're in an okay spot. We managed to turn it around. And by we, I should probably say me, because y'all didn't make the mistake I did. I'm the sole person responsible for that mistake. But I think they're just saying Keeling doesn't exist despite it winning several events in a row. Yeah, I do think there's like a real line where like, oh, you could think about, if I want to be PE, what I do is I don't install any cards and just play 2 pinhole threadings, and you probably just single them out first, but yeah, I think that's Kat's actually got the correct line though, which is you just play a lot of econ cards and you blow up the Keeling server, and then the deck has a more difficult time winning. Or you're Ghost Tongue Hoshiko, or Essa, and you play Light the Fire, and you just laugh. They might run this remote. Yeah, they definitely could. It's a bit expensive. I guess they can get in. Right, they pay 2 clicks. Okay, so they're always brownies because Aaron loves to make brownies, and so we always have brownies. I mean, I think Pinhole is the best, but Light the Fire is uniquely good at keeling servers out of PE. They might soul read it as an agenda. That'd be pretty interesting if they did. Yeah, I mean, Andre was super high on Light the Fire. I thought he was never going to see play. Oh, I wish I need to see if I can get some stuff off my old computer. I don't think I can anymore. I think it's actually pretty much a brick. But I should probably try and look into seeing if I can use it to host my my websites. But me too, Kat. Me too. I assumed I would be flying through these PD games. My first game that I won was an 8-turn game. This is now turn 16. So that's certainly something. This is actually, I will say, my brownie recipe, not Aaron's. But Aaron does all the making. Okay, my opponent is in fact on Light the Fire. That's crazy. That's absolutely wild. Which one are they gonna let me... I get to trash an installed runner card? Oh, they use a click on it. Okay, okay. That makes more sense. Okay, we're gonna draw 3 cards. We shuffle back none of them. Like, this is a super cool read from my opponent. Well, I just do this. Oops. That was not what I meant to click. Okay, so this would cost... I need 3 credits to score. So I actually can't install the border control without overwriting something. Because they technically could run click 1, break 1 subroutine on the Ansel, and have their nat credit. So I do actually need to install something. I think actually just overwriting the Gatekeeper is sufficient, though. Yeah. All right. Well, when your opponent puts down Amakua, that was an ice. Did they get confused? Yeah. Oops. I think they just missed that. And this is like one of the places where the JDA interface is in fact the worst. And so I don't blame, you know, that's not my opponent making like a huge error. Oh. I'm very slow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they did. I am very, very slow today, apparently. GG. Like the fire trash, the syrup, including the Rashida. Yeah. That's what it was. I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, we recovered from me being a total idiot. Thanks everyone. Well, we'll get one more in where I maybe don't fall as flat on my face. And then we'll do a little bit of draft building. Alright, good to see that JNet's picking up a little. Last week it was super, super quiet. Tournament games going on. Oh, Glen Runner. Cool. But yeah, for people who haven't seen it, there is a in-progress revision of the organized play null signal policies. That was the backwards way to say that. The null signal games organized play policies. And I've been spearheading this, though not the only voice involved. And it is a total document rewrite. Yeah, Andre, you have to be a YouTube Premium member to have that, I think, because that is genuinely the worst, and so that might be a good enough reason for me to switch back to doing dual streaming next week. Oops. Oh, hold on. We gotta go lose real fast. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the YouTube app, like, they gate basic usability features behind the premium subscription, which, like, is totally a reason to go with Twitch first. All right, I don't mind this gachapon hit. Yeah. Oh, this is a Big Hosh. So I've been trash talking Big Hosh on every platform I have available to me except my stream, apparently. So it's time to do that on stream. Okay. What's in the bin? You don't have it. Watch Laura be playing Doof Hosh. Yeah, probably. Yeah, leaving this blind open for Wake is definitely a bold call from my perspective. Oh, fuck, you do have it. No, it's not allowed, Laura. I don't pop the border control here because it doesn't make a difference. Okay. Draw. Install over HQ. Install on server 1. You don't have it a second time. There's no way you have it 2 times in a row in a 40-something card deck. Okay, now I get to do the super fun turn of advance, 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 score. We'll add hedge fund back in the deck. Then we will purge and discard. This Chrysium's feeling way worse than a virus would. Aeneas Informant. We're playing 40-something. We're playing like 50 card Hosh with Aeneas Informant in it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 agendas in the top 14 cards. Got an MK down. Let's spin doctor it up. The good doctor. Oh, hedge fund. I put Ansel on the remote. Yeah, oh, Stargate. Yeah, prepping it for saving it for the Stargate would have been much smarter. Because this regolith is never actually going down. Hey, Diogenes. No, you can have my spin doctor if you want. Aha, it's an agenda. I did not lose my spin doctor. But, well, come on. Come on, Laura. Boo. Okay, I should have played it slow. I mean, like, I'm just completely lost. It was a very bold jam. It was a very, very bold jam. For sure. I don't think there wasn't a paperclip, so like I felt like my odds were decent. But of course Laura drew her second boomerang. It happens. It happens. Yeah, there's definitely a line where I use the spin doctor to actually fix my hand. I am so tempted to purge next turn. I don't think so, Diogenes. I don't think Biovault makes much of any sense in this deck. It's just very expensive for what it does. And it's very, very slow as well. So it's expensive both in terms of credits to use. And then it's expensive in terms of what it, like how you use it. So you have to install Advance Advance, so it's taking an entire turn's worth of actions. And does she actually have the MK? Oh yeah, she has everything, okay. She can't run back last click, so I guess this probably gets through. Yeah, I don't think she can get in here. Okay, so she's just gonna jack out here. Yeah. Great. Alright, well, we got one on the board. Okay, so we don't have a Rashida to add, so I guess I can't be tempted into that line. So we'll just put the seamless launch back in our hand. Alright, I might just throw that brand down in front of... I don't think I mind having the drafter eat it here, because something is going to have to eat the hippo. I don't think I'm going to win this one, Patrick. I don't. Or having the boomerangs on exactly the right turns is tough. Do I fake like I'm protecting this, or do I gain a credit? I want to gain the credit so that I can res the Fairchild 3 and the Regolith. Laura's going to have a lot of money here. Yeah, Fermenter's just cracked. It's going to eat a chunk here, though. Three. The MK Ultra gets trashed. Okay. See the border control? Let's go. We can maybe make this work. Somehow. Ansel on R&D, I think, was known. We're going to see 4 cards, but there's only 2 agendas in the whole deck. No way. GG. Wild. 1 agenda left in R&D, right? That was all the agendas. Holy shit. Well. That's hilarious. Am I feeling like drafting? I don't know. Anyway, for those of you who are interested in the organized play policies, you can go and check this out. This is in the tournament organizers channel in the Null Signal event. Blah, 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 Discord. And it's an entire restructuring of the document. It's not meant to be a major policy overhaul, but it is meant to be structured out by type. People have been giving me a lot of feedback on it. A lot of it's been really good and helpful. And so hopefully this will become official policy sometime around the end of the month. And I want feedback from people that want to give it. So if that's something of interest to you, great. If you just want to see a peek at what the next set of policies are going to look like, this is a place to do it. And yeah, so definitely take a look out for that if that's something that's of interest to you. kind of curious how far back I can go. Interesting that would be. Okay. Okay, cool. So anyway, I'm just like standing reading other people's texts. So one of the things I've been talking about is making my own cube. Oh, and of course that thing didn't capture the window for some reason. Lol. What? Okay. Oh, why is this not quite fitting? Okay, there we go. Okay, so the goal was to try and make a cube. But the goal of this cube was to be a little bit seeded with a pseudo rarity, but a little bit probably more seeding of the packs, which means it's going to be difficult to draft in person, but makes it easy to test draft it first, and then if it's something that actually is fun and that people like, I can look at ways of printing it and making it more reasonable. Okay, so I had a list of wanting to get about 120 agendas, 120 econ cards, ice, 120 build-around pieces, which could include agendas, and then cards that can do a couple of different things. And I feel like I was like stalling on doing actual stuff, doing a lot of other things. So, what's the best way to do this? Let's... Oh, this looks terrible. Okay, this looks a little bit better, though it's still kind of ugly. Don't really need this. So here I had my number of copies, and most cards I'm putting in as 3 and 2 ofs with a couple zeros. So maybe what I should do is grab this guy and actually take a look at those in a format that's slightly nicer. Do I want to delete this stuff or just make a new notebook? This can just be card popularity. Now we're just gonna go and grab oh no, oops. Apologies for this. So for those of you that are only here for Netrunner, apologies. Probably be the end of the Netrunner play for the night. Thank you all for tuning in. If you have thoughts about cubes and building cubes and stuff, it's something I have never done before, so I'm going to definitely screw it up. And yeah, last week I did like 2 hours or something of custom card creation, and I definitely want to get back to that. But I also like bouncing about a bit and see which project I want to spend a little more time on. This I maybe should have done before the stream, but I didn't think I was going to do this. Okay. I just don't need. Bingo. Bongo, bongo. And here we go. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go. We're going to go at, let's just go and grab this guy. None of these are long, right? You just run all of these. What? Oh. What? Oh, is it? I have to do the... Oh, I'm... Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now let's, like, sub-select these columns. Let's go... faction code... title... And then I want to get... Look at the NRDB key, but we're also going to get respective copies. Okay, and then we're going to drop NA, and we will query respective copy is greater than 0. What? Why did that not? Oh, I know why that didn't work. Okay, now that will work. Yeah, one thing I'm a little bit worried about this approach is that it is just super laned and that you have no flexibility to go cross and forth different archetypes and like do stuff you can't normally do in Netrunner, which is definitely like a very real downside of enforcing influence limits. That it's just you're going to be playing Netrunner but with worse decks. I think Netrunner is probably a fundamentally good enough game that will still be enjoyable, but may not be what people actually want to play. Like, if that's what they wanted to play, they would just play that. So that could be a real downside with this event, of this kind of format. I need to figure out how to allow it to show me everything. So I'm going to do that very quickly. Okay, let's just try this for a second. We're going to try PD set option. Display, max rows, none. Okay, cool. Okay, so for example, this is what my suite ends up looking like for each faction and neutrals. So how can I do, is there a way I can already simulate stuff, or do I need to build the whole pool? I could definitely come up with a rough simulation. Right, so it's like I could go up to here and I say, I'm going to draft 18 points to agendas, 60 cards, 1 and 5 need to be agendas. So each player is going to see... Okay, so I'm handing out... 60 cards in 4 packs. That's going to be 15. So there's going to be about 3 agendas per pack. So there's going to be about 3 agendas per pack. And I feel like you should average... How can you do this? Yeah, so it's going to be all about, like, how many you see. I think it's probably a little bit too early to do this the way I was going to. Yeah, building the pool first, I think, is actually going to be the way to go. And then just trying out test drafts, where it's just like, all we're going to do is draft. We're not going to actually go and play any games. We're just going to draft and see what the pool looks like. But what I could do is randomize sets of 3 right now. Like, randomize... Okay, so if I think about it, what I'm saying is I'm going to make... Okay, there's going to be 480 cards times... So there's going to be about 120... Oops. So like something I could do is just make some like 3-card packs. Any reason times 4 times 15? It's just what the Stim Hack Cube does. So that would be the whole reason. Nothing else. And it's 60 card. If I'm having you draft your entire deck, I want you to have a good chunk of chaff that you can deal with. And not feel like you have to draft every card, because the goal is not to give starters. Like, you probably do have to give Corp agendas, Pyrex probably, but I would love to make that be a thing that people don't have to draft. Yeah, it's like, I think it's like, oh yeah, there's probably 3 agenda slots per Corp pack, so it's something like, oh, I can probably just use sample, right? I can set this to be... Okay. And then, like, agendas sample 3. And it's like, okay, this would be a pack. And then, like, you would sample this, like, 20-somethings times, right? It's very low on points, actually, so far, which is interesting. It's a lot of 2 points. We have yet to see a 3-point. That's very interesting. High risk investment is a 3-pointer. I should maybe try and include that in here. So that's something to think about. Yeah, so Almir, I think Pyrec is where I would go. Executive Retreat's probably a decent one, but I've definitely scored Executive Retreat and been like, oh cool, I have 1 card in hand. Let me upscale the Executive Retreat. Okay, but what we should actually do is move on to something like Ice. Where did I go and actually get... Oh, fantastic. So I have these 2. Yeah, that's true. Most decks are built with 2-pointers. Yeah, Exarn, I like the double wheel, basically. You're going to see the pack. If it's your first pick, you're going to see it once with enough to pick and keep going. 512 might be right. It's definitely something that you could flex with. Okay, so this is... Actually, let's name this labeled agendas. Solomir, I think that's how it's constructed right now. The way that the Stim Hack key works is IDs are actually just in the packs. So I could see a world where... I could see there's like a couple of different ways I've been thinking about it. One way was there's a set of base IDs, and then you can draft upgrades. So you can like... There will always be a generic low-value Shaper, a generic low-value Jinteki, etc., etc. but you can draft them as like one per card pool. Yeah, large wheel influence does have some synergies, so you can actually do some planning about, okay, what can I actually grab and stuff. But okay, but let's go and get, what did I call it? Cards DF? Okay. We went with 512 after 415 generated decks kept getting everything in their lane. That's interesting. That's actually really good to know. Okay, let me just look at cards DF. Oh, it's going to display me the whole thing. I don't actually need it to. But anyway, okay. So you want cards DF with the type code equals. Is it ice? Oh, shoot. And let's do like PD set option. Oh shoot, that's not what I wanted. Set option, display max rows. Let's go to like 10. Okay, cool. So this gets me ice. Yeah, so that's the thing I want to try and do in this cube is put influence restrictions back in the game because I think it's kind of interesting. But it may be terrible. It may actually just be a terrible play experience, but it's something I want to try. Okay, so what we're going to do, though, is we're going to get cards DF, and we're going to merge it with my Trash or Busto rankings. And we're actually just going to grab this. Okay. And I'm going to say type equals ice. And we're going to say warp ice greater than 120. Now I could subselect to make this easier to read. But we'll just do that in the other thing. Yeah, Solomir, that was actually like something I've only done sealed constructed for Fab once, and it is 2/3 of the Fab games I've ever played, and Eric screwed up because I had a fantastic Ninja sealed constructed deck, and then Eric gave me the wrong deck size, so I literally didn't have enough legal cards to put into it. If I had played with the correct sealed size, I would have had a sick-ass deck. But it's fine. But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting experience. It would have been a very interesting draft experience. It does seem like it would lane you pretty fast. But at the same, but still not get that weird. Let's see. I'm gonna jump to this for a second, and then I'm gonna figure out my next scene. Spreadsheets. Oh, okay. I was like, did that somehow pause my music? That would be wild. Ah, yeah. Here we go. And let's add my face back in here. Oh, I see why that's doing that. Okay. Oop. Let's do it this way. You guys don't need to see the scroll bar. It's not that exciting. Okay. All right, so the goal here is to come up with ice. So let's start hiding columns that we don't care about. Probably do care about keywords, actually. We're just going to go by stripped title. Why is this one so huge? I'll hide the column. I'll hide the column. Cost and stuff is going to be relevant, probably. Got the faction already. Solomir is OP. And you can release any promo materials we can use, like the CO posters for nationals. I am currently not the best person to ask for that. I will pass that question along. I think Orbs is planning to make some, but time is always difficult. I think at some point we'd love to make them a little bit more frequent. So I will get an answer for you. Let's see. Let me go. Let me post in the Okay. Okay, and then we're going to have our copies of a card. And what I might actually do first, this is the one thing that I was like, oh, I can use this to make my life a little bit easier. What I've done is I made an API for Trash or Busto, and then went and pulled the ratings from every card that's in Trash or Busto. So now I just have to remember how you frickin' sort. Oh, that went not the way I wanted it to. Oh, I forget that it does this stupid thing. Okay. Ugh. Okay, this is the problem of using freeware software, is it sometimes is really... top to bottom, and we want to sort by rating. Why did that not work? Holy shit. Okay. Okay, that's very weird. Something got screwed up with this guy. So this is... No, the goal is for this to be one project. How did this guy get so off? Yeah, I'm just going to delete this row. I'm going to keep going. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness, and this guy got off too. Oh wow, this is Hagen. This is quite good. Okay, I'm just gonna write Hagen here. And this is Hourglass. Those must have like weird line breaks in them somewhere, I guess. Okay, Border Control seems like something you probably want to have 3 copies of in the cube. I think it's a really good card. It is, in fact, the best dice on the list. Kakago, I am much less certain about if I want to be in the pool. It probably should be. I feel like 2 copies is like my default for a card I don't like, but is good and should probably be in the cube. Gold Farmer, I think is, or Architect is like a lit card. Oh, so why would I need copies if I have rarity? Because copies is how I'm kind of doing rare. They're not unrelated, I guess. Or the way I wanted to approach this first was coming up with some kind of copies with just collation and see if that makes the experience I want. And if that doesn't, then I'll move towards more of the rarity system. So collation might be the is the easier first step, and then rarity is the harder second step. Is sort of my thinking. It's like, yeah, a lot of this is powerful ice that you probably want to see some amount of the time in the cube. Engram Flush, I think probably not. But there's also a world where it's like, oh yeah, all of this ice is rare, and so there's only ever going to be one of them in a pack, even if there's this many copies in the cube. So you do that kind of stratification as well. So then you could build your pack by pulling a rare, and then the rest of the pack fills a format. So like, the easier way for me to start was just, instead of worrying about rarity up front, just build something that looks like a cube, look at the collation experience, then see how it feels. The next step would be, once I have some sense of how... Because I'm not going to make something like a true common, probably, where there's more than 3 copies, because there's just so many interesting Netrunner cards. Yeah, I think that's right, Ixaron. Like, that is a way that you could do this, and the way, like, I think I would like to end up ultimately doing this is, like, some of these cards, like a Border Control or a Kakugo, like, it's a rare or, compare, you know, in an MTG style thing, a rare or a mythic compared to an uncommon or a common. That should probably be a 2. This should be a 2. I was just like, oh, these are all good ice. So like, yeah, let's leave them around. Yeah, it's, you know, and I definitely should maybe think about just making a... yeah, I think that's a good point, Solomir. Like, rarity is just so that, like... A rarity is a thing you can do at the end where you say, hey, even though there's 3 border controls, we don't want a border control, a Kakugo, a off-world office, and a Estelle all in the same pack. Like, that pack's just too weird and too wild. And it's gonna, like, inflate the relative power of the whole Corpside draft. And when that pack doesn't get created. So that is true, Ixaron, if and only if the number of copies are pulled equally when you're creating the packs. It is not necessarily true that copies and rarity are the same. Yeah, a cube pack that contained Paperclip and Golo and Amakua, yeah. That would be a pretty wild one. I actually think tour guides, like to me, tour guides actually something you want in like an uncommon-y slot, because it is so important so enabling for an archetype. But these are all very good cards. So if you open, say, 4 packs, there's only... So that's definitely a way to do this. This copies thing is so that I can get together a rough 600 card-ish cube first. I think. Yeah, there could be 0 border controls. That's definitely the case. Surveyor is actually a really nice sentry. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a downside to have stuff never show up. I think Ansel and Ichi 1.0 are pretty comparable. I actually think Turing's like a pretty good... I mean, yeah, so this was another thing. Like, we could go through and say, like... I'm just going to call it rare, and it's just going to be a true or false, right? So you could do it this way. Like, this should be true. Like, all of these should be true. Oops. So it's like, the point of the rare actually is kind of to ensure that they will show up, but they won't show up together. Oh, come on. But I'm going to hold on that. Well, so I don't think you can do collation without having... I think this sort of system doesn't work without collation at all. And I think then potentially have... Yeah, like, this is going to be a lot of moving parts, for sure. And that's why this project will probably never actually get to lift off where people can play it, is kind of my guess. Like, just very frankly. Yeah, actually, maybe 2 Afshar is nice. It's a card you want to see in Wayland a lot. Yeah, copies is more for me to think about what the size of the card pool looks like. But... How many ice even are there? 200 something ice that are in this? Oh, the other thing I'm supposed to do is sort this out by faction to make sure that factions get roughly enough ice. That's the other thing I need to do. Okay, so I need to go into my sort. Okay, so we're going to sort by faction code. And then we're going to sort by rating. Yeah. Sad stuff. Is this ever gonna be played physically? I don't know. If this becomes something that people want to play, my plan was to just make a proxy pack and get a sample shipped to me where I had basically made all the cards that way, so I wouldn't have to worry about building it by hand. And I could just get a stack of cards, sleeve them in order, have them printed in the randomized packs ahead of time, and just kind of deal with that and treat them as a one-time thing. Yeah, that's true. So with agendas, I didn't have to think about influence because for the most part, they don't have influence. But yeah, maybe copies is the wrong statistic. Maybe copies is wrong. Maybe I actually do want rarity rather than copies. Yeah, it is. It's meant to be the FFG draft pack experience, but like designed a little bit better. But the fact that I'm trying to claim that I can design it a bit better, despite having never tried to build a draft before, makes me skeptical I'll deliver on the promise. Yeah, so I've only done agendas. So if I've only done agendas so far, how much does it cost to have like 1,000 card set printed? Probably like $100, I think. Which is not like, it's not an extreme cost. I remember I was working with someone to try and get a standard proxy set printed. And the cost to us to print the demo pack was like $50 for like 400 cards or something. It was quite cheap, I think. Let me see if I can go and find that. Oh no, what happened? Why can I not find this person? Okay, let's go to here. Sorry, I'm like just trying to find this conversation. Okay. Okay, so we printed a 500 card proxy pack, and between it was less than $100 after shipping. So so yeah, this is something that, like, if I can get this ready for something like a Worlds or a Nationals or something, yeah, you just print a proxy, you throw them in penny sleeves, and or actually no, you don't sleeve it. No, you just tell people to bring their own sleeves, and then yeah, you don't sleeve it, and then I back up the pack generator code on GitHub so that people can make their own packs. And I have to figure out what to do with art and fronts and backs and all that nonsense. But that's like, let's not make bridges before we get there. Okay, so if we're thinking about pack quantities, right? So I think and I should probably just hop on a call with Eric about this, but rarities differentiate neutral, shared cards, faction lane cards, and then strategy defining cards and haymakers. Okay. So if I'm thinking about rarity, and we're going to swap back to this one. Apologies for the... Okay, here we are. Okay, so let's put down a markdown. After some more... Oops. Oh yes, please, ChatGPT, tell me exactly what I'm thinking before I've said anything. Using rarity rather than copies, and then combining that with collation. No, it's that? Whatever. With pack seeding. For agendas, ice, econ, etc. Makes more sense than doing fixed copies. So what should the rarities be? And what is the purpose of those rarities? Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I don't know what Afsan is. Common. Low influence cards that are good in multiple archetypes. I mean, I actually think that's a pretty good definition. No, I actually don't need this second bit. Low influence cards that are good in multiple archetypes. Yeah. Uncommon. So I almost feel like I want to have like a faction lock. Well, so Solomir, the idea is that if influence is enforced, it probably does matter. I also don't know that endurance can actually go into a draft format. I think endurance was pretty close to fine in standard as the last person saying that. Like, probably a small, like, its numbers were much closer, but I think in draft it's going to outperform a lot more. So if we look at uncommon, if it means they may have to run really, really bad in faction cards, as fan is as fan. It means as you fan our booster, what are the expected quantities? So that I have some idea of. So, but let me write that down. Oops. Oh, my goodness. I like invent weird shortcuts in my head. Okay, so it's going to be 3 agendas. Let's try it with a 12 card pack. Actually, let's... Okay. 3 agendas. Whoops. It's, I think 3 pieces of ice. And then 2 guaranteed econ pieces. Yeah, so it's the 2 econ pieces and then God, what I had categories up here. So I've build-arounds. Okay, so I feel like it should honestly be something like 2 upgrade. Let's say 1 upgrade. And then 3 kind of flex cards. And then... for distribution of rarities... goes something like 2 guaranteed rare what was let me think about what the levels are before I look at that. Oh yeah, let's say like yeah, let's say should it really be 2 assets and then 2 flex cards? I feel like that's kind of right. Yeah, thank you, Sad Stug. So this would be 2 operations then. This is going to be a little bit ice heavy as an overall draft. Okay. I think uncommon should still be influence cards that are good in almost all decks. I would actually, let's not say good, let's say playable. Don't limited corp decks tend towards asset spammy strategies? Maybe, because I think assets are a good way to prey on low runner econ. So Ixaron, the reason I disagree is because this is going to be like Netrunner Ice has a lot of differences in it. And maybe you need to say, oh, this is 2 to 3 agendas and 2 to 3 ice, and they share 5 slots. Like, that could be what it ends up being. I'm going to start here and keep going. In particular archetypes. And then rare. Actually, yeah, and then maybe this is just the division. This is high influence cards or haymakers. Yeah, these should be like big signaling cards. Or big like potential build-arounds. And then this should be like signal lanes. So need to support the baseline engine of the archetype. So the goal is probably you see something like 1 mythic for your thing. Oh yeah, that is annoying, Solomir. Yeah. Well, next week I'll go back on Twitch and we'll probably do a half Netrunner stream, half try and finish out my set stream. And go from there. Okay. Okay, so if we do a 12-card pack, this is going to be common, low-influence cards that are playable in most decks in faction, maybe out of faction. Uncommons, we want to be like, this is a card that can be good in archetypes, rare, high influence cards that are good in faction, and mythic. So when if we go back and look at, oops, that's the wrong button. If we go back and look at my scene, I've now labeled spreadsheets with an exclamation mark. Okay, so if we go back through it this way and we instead look at rarity, yeah, probably the way you do it is I think the way I'm thinking the algorithm does it is it does lock in a certain, like it says there's got to be 2 agendas in the pack, so I'm going to pull 2 agendas, I'm going to pull 2 ice, I'm going to pull 1 asset, 1 operation, and then does some other stuff. Because like you'll notice I've got 0 upgrades guaranteed there. So then there's going to be some larger pool that gets pulled from again. Okay. So I don't know how Labdog made it in. I don't think Labdog is a card I want in the pool. Sherlock is like... This is the thing where it's like, do I want Sherlock to be in the pool? Should this just be a rare? Where it's not too exciting, but like it's kind of fun as a rare? Because you can't really play it... What's its influence? We can see its influence somewhere. Faction cost. It's only got 2 influence? Really? Wait, what? Hold on. I don't believe that. Wow, okay. Okay. Today I learned. Or something like Hudson, like... Maybe you can put Hudson at common? Or maybe you just don't put Hudson in the pool. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm starting at the bottom. Okay, so let's move up. Well, you know what? Let's change the sorting. Oh no, it's this sorting. Whoops. Okay, so we're gonna go by faction code. Oh, and let me also, you know what? Let me get. Oh, we can just do. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Faction code. Oh, you guys can't even see that I'm playing with a window here. And then I want rating, and I want this to be descending. Okay. And then let me go and get my sorry, I'm just gonna do a little bit of okay. Because I'm like, oh, I know all the cards in Netrunner, and then I look at Sherlock 1.0 and I go, no, I don't. Okay, and then let me go and grab image, add existing. Oh no, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Weep. Okay, so Sherlock 1.0. It's actually like a reasonable card, but let's okay. So architect, by our definition, maybe I should. Okay, we're gonna keep cluttering the screen here. Let's go and get my notepad out. Okay. And then we're going to add a window capture. Okay. Okay, so lots of stuff going on the screen right now. We're just going to have to try and make do. Okay, so this to me should be a rare, right? Because by our definition, this is a high influence card. Wait, it's not a high influence card. Should this be uncommon? Because it's so sick? Okay, we're going to make this uncommon. Collation is hard to spell. The upside downside of heavy collation is that the quantities types in the pool have much less effect on what packs look like. We'll see. That might be the case, it might not be. Fairchild 3, though, is something like a rare. Even though it's only 1 influence more, I actually think the dividing line is like 2 versus 3 influence. Most likely. This is a good common. 3, this is probably a rare. This is probably a rare. A lot of these are going in rare. We're hitting some issues here. Definitely hitting some issues. Probably means I need to skip a lot of these cards. Like, it's worth asking, like, oh, if I want Ansel, do I want Ichi? It's like, Ichi is actually a little bit more splashable. And, like, I don't know. Oof, this is hard. So that's like, what are you talking about as doing that rather than like doing collation rather than doing it on a card by card basis? Okay, get some simple. Okay, rather than doing it on a card by card basis, decide by some simple heuristic and work on getting a pack generator set up with Trash or Busto, just to like try and test out the idea rather than manually hand coding a lot of stuff. That's definitely a thought. I think the problem might be something like, oh, when you get bloop, right? Like, I don't know what you do with bloop. Because, like, it's being rated on Trash or Busto as a pretty solid, slightly above starting average value card. But if you don't have everything else in there, and I suspect if we go down, like ping, pulse, everything, yeah. I don't know. Maybe you guys are right. Okay. Alright, you've convinced me. There's too many cards. Too many cards. Bloop is a good rare, yeah. Okay. So code is going to be heuristic bidding of ice. Oops. Jeez. Okay, so what should the algorithm be? Something like will account for two things. The Trash or Busto rating and the influence cost of the card, sure. Now the thing is, I don't just want card rating good, therefore uncommon, or therefore less common, right? Maybe you do, but I almost feel like you want to rate by influence first. First, go to influence. Actually, here's what we can do. First, filter out cards that are in the bottom 20% of Trash or Busto ratings. Augustus, what do you mean by in the system? Like easier to draft or as ways to account? Yeah, I mean, Solomir, there is this does have some issues, right? And so the idea is that you have to go through and heuristically, like this heuristic gets things in first, and then you go through and manually fix it up, right? Excuse me. Okay, we're gonna go back to this, and we're gonna grab. This was actually, I did at one point, ice. I did at one point grab a number of copies in published decks in the month before and after Worlds each year, and count the number of copies and the number of copies per deck, which could be an interesting extra heuristic to add. Then put low influence cards in the low bin, put high influence cards in the high bin. the low influence cards, let's just say 1 to 2 in the low bin, 3 to 5 in the high bin. And let's just see where that gets us. Okay, and then commons should be cards in the approximately 50% range, Pressure Buster ratings that are in the low influence bin. And I feel like these should be in about the 75th percentile. That are in the low influence bin. And maybe commons and uncommons. Like, this should be like, we should say like faction commons should be cards, and then faction uncommons. And maybe this is the way you actually do it, is you say there's going to be commons that are meant to be everywhere, uncommons that are meant to be everywhere, and then faction commons and faction uncommons. And then you could also think about having faction rares. Faction rares should be cards in the 80th. So maybe we'll make this the 60th percentile. Something like that. Hey, Cubon is my favorite card. I'd love if we could somehow, like, if NSG can print a Cubon support card, I would be over the freaking moon. Okay, so let's actually write some code here. So we've got our ice. It's got this big old thing. Okay, so what? I'm just going to make this data easier for me to look at. So I want stripped title. I want faction code. Oh, I'm actually filtering by more than that. So let's do this. Oh, the other thing I need to do with ice is make sure there's a mix of types, which is a pain. Rating. It's not influence cost, though. It's faction cost, I think. Right? And I want to get subtype, keywords, I guess is what it is here. Key works is definitely not an index. Okay. Oh, thank you. 0 to 2. Thank you, Ginevra. I wonder if you should consider 0 inf cards to be neutrals from a faction point of view. No, I don't think around this is going to be one of each. Or, like, we have 5 different types of rarities, right? And 4 corp faction, or 5 corp factions. So it's going to be a little bit weird, but... Okay, so our first job is to go... Oh, goodness. How do I get the percentile? Jeez. Ah, it's the quantile method, I guess. Okay. Oh, fantastic. So I can get quantile. You don't need the 1 for rating. Okay. So let's actually just write this down. One, 2, 9, 4. Nope, that's, wow. That's not what I was trying to do. Thank you. 1, 4, 5, 2. Okay, well, you're just trying to screw with me now. 5, 9, 2. And 16, 4, 2. Okay. Oh, I don't think I'm going to see... I don't think the intent is to seed a barrier, code gate, and sentry in every deck. That might end up being what it is, but I don't think that's quite the intention. And there might honestly be 1 guaranteed icebreaker per pack, and then just have it be from the rarities. When we look at the rarity issue, how many sure gambles should a drafted runner deck have? 1 to 2, probably, I think. Is just my like baseline heuristic, but we'll see. Okay, so I want, oh, let's actually just make this, we're just gonna make an ice abbreviated. Copy. Okay. This gives me this ice, and now what I would do is I can apply a lambda function. Actually, let's just write a function out before I go and do this. Well, we can do lambda x, and then we're just going to do make rarity x. Okay. So now we're going to go and do our def make rarity. Okay. Actually, this is a funny starting heuristic. I don't want the first thing, but I want this. Okay. Okay, so now elif row faction cost is less than 3 if row rating is less than let's say 1562 maybe. Turn common. If row rating is less than 1642, we'll return uncommon, else return rare, else if row faction cost less than, oh no, I don't need this. Whoops. I want rating is less than 1562. And then else return faction rare. Okay, so if I run this, oh, it has a rating. So why is this not working? Well, you know what? The easier way, instead of using the apply function here, is we're going to get ice abbreviated. I'm going to take 0. I need to do loc. And then let's feed this in. Okay, so that worked correctly. Okay. So this is working. So why is this not working? Rating misspelled somewhere? Can I just like nest a row and see what this looks like? Oh, do I need to say access 1 here? Okay. And now we would look at ice abbreviated. Interesting. Why did it not return trash? Why did it not return trash? Oh, I know why it didn't. Because it has this still on it. Okay, cool. So I just do... okay. Okay, so now we could put this into, oops, to CS. So now let's go and look at, see how this heuristic did. This is going to be ice, raw rare. And we're going to show me this in Finder. And then let's go and go over to spreadsheets. And this is the wrong spreadsheet. Cool. Here we are. Cool. Okay, so let's do some filtering and nonsense. Okay. Let's just remove the trashes. Then what we'll do is we'll do an advanced sort. We're going to sort by faction code, and then we're going to sort by rarity. Actually, no, let's sort by, yeah, let's sort by rarity and then by rating. Okay. And we want rating to be descending. Oh, frickin' TLDR. That's what this ice is. That's really funny. Okay, so it's just breaking when I write it to the spreadsheet. There's got to be a way to fix that, but that's funny. Okay, so this is TLDR. That's really funny. Designers of Netrunner trolling me. Okay, that looks like the only version of that, so let's try this sort again. Oh, jeez. Why can't you remember this? Okay. Action code. Rarity. Rating. Descending. Okay. Okay, so these are all in our common slot. So the idea is that you probably are guaranteed to see like 3 of these pass you by. I don't know how many of these you pick up. That's a toughie. I'm like, okay, which of these will I consider picking up? These I might pick up, right? Let's just put these in like a light green. Oh, that is ugly, or at least it's ugly for me. Let's grab that. I could see IQ getting played in some places. Fenris if there's a Thule support. Wave is pretty solid. Yeah, once we start getting into here, people are really high on Neri and a terrible card. Wow, people don't know how to rate these low cards. What is even Night Dancer's text? Hold on. Let's go look it up. Okay, so Night Dancer. Runner loses a click if able. You have additional click to spend on your next turn. I mean, 4 strength code gate for 6 doesn't end the run, but kind of is pretty good. Yeah, I can see Road Turret being very good in draft, honestly. Okay. So our uncommons... Yeah, like, Ravana is an example of a card that you probably want to be in the faction uncommon. Because it doesn't actually work out of faction. You're just not going to res enough Biroids to make it work. I refuse to accept Night Dancer is better than Tapestry. Let's go look at Tapestry, because that's definitely a card I also don't remember. When there's a click of able, the court may draw a card. The owner may add 1 card from HQ to the top of R&D. Okay, hold on. We're going to look up Night Dancer again. It reses for 1 more. Huh. These rankings don't make much sense in terms of limited play. Maybe. They're not perfect heuristics, but that's fine. I mean, to be honest, this first pass looks pretty reasonable. Like, you need to fix this by hand a little bit, and I might actually move the rating gate up. Where you cut it at more like 1400 or so. Maybe 1350. Right? So if we cut it at 1350, we cut out the bottom 3. But like Sagittarius, Enforcer, Hourglass are never going to be played. Like having these good cards be rare is interesting. So the idea is probably what you see like you would see, like just going by how wheels work, there's going to be probably 1.5 other players in your faction. So, or like 2.5 players per faction. And these seem reasonable. Okay, faction uncommon seems rarer for HB than faction rare, which is interesting. So some of these rares probably... Wait, how did these guys get classified as rares? Oh, because they're lowish influence? Okay, yeah, these are low influence good cards. Yeah, so you probably move some of those around a little bit, but that's interesting. Okay. So now we make it to Jinteki. Oh god, data mine at common. Probably means you can't put PE in the pool. Or you have to put like a softer version of PE in. Like all this trap ice. All this trap ice. But like honestly, like... Okay, these like... Yeah, for Jinteki, you probably want to, like, you could probably make a cutoff somewhere in this range, about 1450. Which is a little bit higher than we were going to set it on the HB range, but that seems okay. And faction uncommon tends to be a pool that's very low right now. 2 2/3 per faction. Yeah, that makes... Okay, that's probably true for an 8-person draft pool. No, actually, for Corp, it should be 2 people per faction per table. So you're only drafting with one other person, I think. Yeah, but this is actually, like... Thank you guys for making me go and do this, because this is much better than me going through by hand. If we cut it 1450 for the commons, we get hurt a little bit in terms of NBN. Apparently they don't have many good low influence ice, or the low influence ice they do have is really good. There's nothing wrong with trap ice PE. I think PE is just like a very uninteresting draft deck generally. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's just kind of my sense. Yeah, I guess, so like pop-up ends up being rare, but pop-up would probably actually go into common for me. I feel like people should be able to play pop-ups. I think that's a good one. Whereas like slot machine, yeah, definitely a rare. And yeah, okay, so this faction uncommon category just isn't getting used. It basically should just be faction rares. Which means maybe it just gets dropped. Maybe you just skip out that whole category of faction uncommons, because there are cards that you don't Okay, so we dropped faction uncommon. What are we losing? So far, nothing too bad. As just an alternative for bucketing ice using the text on the subroutines. What do you mean? I'm very curious about what you mean by that. Like, end the run being more valuable or less valuable? The trickier thing is I then have to parse the subroutine text, which is going to take me a lot more work, but it's definitely not the end of the world. So neutral corpse, a lot of commons, some uncommons. Yeah, there might be 3 people for some and 1 for others. Yeah, for sure. End the run, net damage, and lose. So you're saying, like, have those be... Basically, instead of categorizing ice by how popular they are in Trash or Busto, categorize them by function, and then do some binning. Except the reason I want to segregate by faction, just for this analysis, is so I can get some sense of what the pools would look like when drafting these factions individually. And probably the collation algorithm has some amount of, I'm going to pull a faction rare, and then there's going to be some algorithm for figuring out which factions you can pull that faction rare from. That's kind of my thinking. Okay, actually, one thing that might be interesting is I'm going to jump back to this. I want to get some sense of how many commons there are. And then let's just okay, and then I need to get this show all, right? Yeah, so for most factions, we have like a lot of cards, right? We have 20 cards in the common rating, though NBN has the least. Faction common, HB is just very heavy on faction commons. Faction rares are basically super consistent. Faction uncommon, this is basically just a category that doesn't exist, it turns out. And then rares are pretty sparse, and uncommons are about as sparse as faction uncommons, or as faction commons. So this is maybe doing a little bit too much, and trash just grabs some cards there. So I think we can move the trash line up a little bit to like probably like 1350. And then the goal should probably be to like go in by hand, and try and get these to be roughly the same size for everyone. Like you want because if your pool is the same size of commons, uncommons, rares, faction commons, faction rares, then your odds of getting the one you need is roughly constant across factions. Oops. But basically what we've discovered is that looks like faction uncommon and uncommon are super sparse. Also synergy cards, harmonics, biroids, are slightly misclassified. Shouldn't their size match their distribution weights? I think not necessarily. I mean, you need the largest pool of common. Like, you do need a taper, but it's not going to be exactly the same, right? Because you do want to see... because you're pulling with replacements whenever you're making a pack, I think. Most likely. Or you're pulling with replacements every N number of cards, right? It might be like every 400 cards you refill the whole cube and pull again. or every 100 cards you like restock. So you want to have a large number of commons, uncommons. Yeah, because I think like there's the function distribution weights that yeah, merging uncommon into rare is definitely probably the way to do it. Yeah, so that's the thing. Is like you probably want like if I look at this, I'm like, yeah, if we can get like maybe 15 commons, if you're probably gonna see those commons like there's probably gonna be a common you see 3 times at least, right? But you probably still want like somewhere in the range of 5 to 10 possible rares, even though that's, well, it looks like it's gonna be about 5 rares per faction. And rares should be less common than 1 in 3, but you still want a pool so that if you're not going to just see the same rare a bunch. Okay, let's go back to the spreadsheet for a second. And let's just sort by... Okay, so let's sort by rarity. Come on. And then we're going to sort by faction code. Okay. So these are all our commons. I'm going to skip commons and uncommon, faction commons and stuff, and look at faction rares and faction uncommons and rares, just to get a sense of like, is there some granularity I can put in here that's missing? Actually, let's very quickly look through commons and see if there's stuff that like definitely should go. It's like, none of these are absurd. They actually cover a wide range of costs. They're not just all one-costers. They have tech, like there's tech cards in the common slot, which I think is really nice. Yeah, Ginevra, that's probably going to be the case, for sure. There'll probably need to be a couple of neutral or zero inf cards. Okay, so one faction had like a super high... I think like NBN had a ton of rares. And it's like, oh yeah, when I look at these, like immediately something like an Endless Eula like maybe doesn't need to be in the rare slot. Wow, Endless Eula seems super overrated. Like, I could also see a world where, like, I make some, like, custom harmonics for every faction and make, like, Wave a neutral, right? Like, that could be a fun little thing where Wave is now neutral, Echo is now, you know, it's still one influence, and then Pulse and Bloop are the HB ones, and then you make an NBN one, you make a Jinteki one, and you make a Wayland one. And so now everyone can kind of do harmonics, and they're all low influence or something like that. Like, that could be a way to go. But the other thing is, this might be pretty heavily lane drafted. Healers rating almost purely driven by boat? Potentially, yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, like a card like Newshound, like if I'm not putting currents in, which I honestly think might be wise, like yeah, you just drop Newshound from the pool entirely, right? Like, and we've already said pop-up window should probably go to common. It's maybe the exception here. I like that Funhouse and Data Raven both make it in. Okay, so my rare rating here for NBN, like, you could actually cut it much lower, right? I feel like the actual NBN rares are probably these ones, right? I think Wraparound, Endless Eula, Funhouse, I guess Turnpike, like, this is the thing, it's like, Turnpike to me is an above the curve ice that you probably want to play in NBN. It's only 2 influence, but then, like, the rest of the stuff you can put wherever. Quandrine Vanilla I actually like as rares because they are so freaking good. Yeah, I mean, these are good rare neutrals. Yeah, and like we already said, like, oh yeah, we probably want Tour Guide to be in the uncommon slot, even though it's got such a high rating, because it's so essential to a specific archetype. And then, yeah, we see these uncommons, which are basically bad cards that are kind of accessible. And so they would need to be, like, so this is definitely where you need to go in and do some hand coding. But what was this? This is 21 rows. This is 26. We're going to add some more. So probably getting to about 15 cards, not counting neutrals. I actually think having probably 20 neutral commons is probably going to help make the format work. Oops. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah. Basically just cutting the worst 4 there. And that gets you the commons. And then doing faction commons. I think maybe you just drop the faction uncommon completely. And you drop uncommon completely. So you just have common. I mean, maybe it is just common, uncommon, rare. But maybe you have common, faction common, faction uncommon, and rare. Because it's like, oh yeah, border control is probably in the faction rare right now, but actually should be in a slightly different spot. Oh, that's a good point, Sadstug. So I'm gonna need to make. I need to do some finagling here to make this work, because. Hold on one sec. I should probably just move these next to each other. Okay. Because if we go and look at ICE abbreviated, the subtypes we need to do some keyword parsing. So let's go. What do you mean, Andre? This card's 1 strength off from being good. Which card are we talking about? Sorry, I've lost the plot just a touch. I'm thinking too hard how to do this properly. Frickin' Hafren making this hard for me, and Rainbow, I guess, right? Because they can have multiple types. Oh, you know what? Splitting this out by keywords, though, does let me... Yeah, so I can get stuff like Tracers that are NBN are probably more NBN cards than they are non-NBN cards. So the first element does. Oh, you're right. It does. It works for everything that isn't uh half run, right? And rainbow. Yeah, that's fair enough, Sad Stug. Yeah, yeah. It's not exact, but again, we're just trying to get the approximation here. Um so we get keywords, string, split. I think it's space dash, and then string 0. What? Oh. I need the fucking parens, not brackets. Okay. And then I probably want string strip. Great. Sad Stug. I mean, their time to cube for nationals probably on Sunday. I'll be there. It looks like. I'm not sure about Montreal Nationals yet, but I will definitely be there for PA Nationals. Okay, so this I now say, and then we now go ice abbreviated type, and then we go ice abbreviated group by type rarity count. And then we go reset index. Okay. Okay, so just doing a very, very cursory look, right? 30, 21, 25. We're going to ignore the fact there's a bunch of these. I think if I did what it actually wanted me to do, which is okay. It's nonsense. I should rename that column. But anyway, that reduces some visual noise. Oh, this is definitely super, super tiny. Okay, so we've got 25 common barriers, 21 common code gates, and 30 common sentries, 8 faction common barriers, 4 faction common code gates, and 15 faction common sentries, 6 rares, and 11 rares. So sentries we just have more of than other stuff. But yeah, it actually looks like by default this is going to have a pretty good balance. So now let's do the next step, which is ice abbreviated. I just want to take a look at this. Okay, so I might want to get I think it's called stripped text. Okay. Actually, let's see what happens if I take text and if that has a character key in it that I can use. Okay, cool. Okay, so what do I want to do here? How do I want to do this? No, we can do stripped text, I think. And then stripped text dot string contains end the run. ETR. Okay. And then we've got ICE abbreviated, group by this. Okay. I actually don't know how I would evaluate this. Not a lot of common code gates that end the run. Maybe suggest that there's a little bit of an issue. There are 25 barriers that don't contain end the run. I think I'm a little skeptical of that result. I don't think there are 25 barriers in the game that don't have end the run on them. So let's look at what our ICE abbreviated, not ICE abbreviated ETR. And let's get and okay, that is, I feel like it's listening to me, but I know it's not. Okay, so these all end the run. Okay, so my thing did not work at all. Oh, it's freaking, is it capital E end the run? Okay, let's try it this way now. Okay, so now if I take this back and I say code gate. Okay, that looks more like it. Okay, so according to this, there is no ICE, no barriers that don't say end the run on them in some form. It's just whether it has a capital or lowercase e. This is kind of case insensitive. That's good enough. And this will, like, the thing is, this will include something like an IP block that ends the run, or a, what's a barrier that doesn't end the run? First one to think of a barrier that doesn't have the text end the run anywhere on it gets a bonus point. Yeah, exactly, right? All barriers end the run in some way, shape, or form. Whereas if we get this for centuries, it should be a tiny list. Oh, this is not ETR. Okay, let's get this with ETR. Okay, yep. So, yeah, so Pulse... so actually something like Pulse would still get grabbed as being an end the run ICE by this filter because it contains the word unless the owner does X end the run, right? So like while there are barriers that don't, like they would still have the text on them somewhere. Blockchain blockchain doesn't do anything no matter what its text box says. Cool. This looks like the end the run centuries. Wait, Flare ends the run? How much text does Flare have? What? If successful, trash one piece of hardware, do 2 meat damage, and end the run. Holy crap. Let's go. Just res your 9 cost piece of ice and then win a trace 6. Cool. And I've labeled Draco, Ouroboros, and Muckraker as trash sentries that end the run. Well, my claim is actually that 100% of barriers end the run. That's actually what my claim is here. Not even 99%, 100% of barriers have a way of ending the run. So NSG, that's your challenge. Make a barrier that doesn't end the run, the thing that it definitionally does. It actually does nothing because all the ones were linked and they just pay the trace. Yeah, that's why you never actually saw it, but... yeah, I mean, this is the thing. But I think this is interesting. Okay, so we're going to have to change our pools. The other thing is we can look at subtypes like Biroid, Tracer, and Harmonic and treat those separately, right? Or AP in Jinteki. Like, a Jinteki AP card is probably like a faction card, even if it's otherwise would normally be a common. Okay. Some heuristics. Biroid and Harmonic should be faction commons. NBN Tracers should be faction uncommon. And then, what was the other thing? Jinteki AP should be faction commons. Except Eli 1.0. Okay. So, rough. Oops. Revise rarities. Common. Hello. Oh, princess. What's... Nope, don't need that. Hello. What's up? You want me to come to bed? Why don't you go in your crate? Go in your crate. Go on in your crate. Oh. Good work. Good night. Go to bed. Alright, my dog's trying to get me to go to bed. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate the hard effort. So we want cross-faction cards, faction commons, and then I think rares, which are basically a mix of both faction and cross and neutral high power cards. Okay, so this basically becomes common, uncommon, rare, probably. and then potentially using Torb rating for mythics, though probably hand code. Okay, so I think this is a really good path forward, and I can actually thank you people for making me doing a particularly oh my goodness, I've got so much junk on the floor. I just drop things as I go through my stream. I think it was Sadstug and Solomir telling me that I had to just do this with an algorithm rather than trying to hand rate everything. So I think I can algorithmically rank all of these, all corp types. You can do this for assets, you can do this for upgrades, you can do this for operations, and then come back with kind of a blanket thing, and then I can start thinking about next stream in about probably what I will do. I think what I might do for my streams for at least a little while is do about the first hour to 2 hours of playing Netrunner, and then the next hour to 2 hours of working on either custom set or the draft pod. So let me just leave a note for myself for next week, or for what week is this? 6/21. Do this for all corp cards, and plan on doing algorithm build, and then plan on trying out seeding, pack seeding algorithms. Okay, I think that seems like a good plan. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Next week, it sounds like enough people care about me being on Twitch. I will just flaunt the guidelines, get demonetized on Twitch, and we will move on. But until then, I will see y'all next week. I hope to get back to producing real Netrunner content. I think talking about how you should play Runner is a video that a lot of people want to do. I think unfortunately I am just not well equipped right now to do a very good job on it, but I'll try and grab some better players than me to talk about it. And until then, I'll see y'all next week, if not any sooner. So thanks for hanging out. Have a lovely evening.